Poverty has been a real problem in our world throughout the years. Almost 10% of the whole world lives in poverty. Despite it has gotten better throughout the years, it still needs to get to the place where like we want it to be. So today's speech I'll discussing poverty in the USA, poverty in the world, and how we can help fix it. First, poverty in the USA. In United States Census Bureau had a study in 2019 about the poverty rates in the United States. In 2017, it was 12.3%, and in 2018, it went down 0.5%, down to 11.8%. And an interesting study that I found while researching is that more children live in poverty than senior citizens, which I think is kind of crazy that like the youth of America is like living in poverty. And I'm right now like in Lincoln for college, so I did a study on Lincoln, and in 2017, most recent study by the city-data.com in 2017 had a study that 12.4% of all of Lincoln lives in poverty. Next, I'll discuss poverty around the world. Extreme poverty is defined as living under $1.90 a day, and 736 million people currently live in extreme poverty throughout the world, which is quite a lot. But since 1990, the extreme poverty percentage has gone down 10%. So we're making kind of like a lot of progress. And that was a study by Andrea Peer in 2018. Another like crazy stat that I found out while researching is that for every 1,000 children, 39 of them will die before the age of 9. And mostly they're going to be from diseases such as malaria, and as well as something as simple as just the flu, because usually most of the kids that are in poverty aren't able to afford medicine for their children. And that was by an article called 9 World Poverty Statistics That Everyone Should Know in 2020. Lastly, how we can help. Something that I found when we can help is a game called Free Rice, which is something that I think we all kind of played like in elementary school. Our teachers kind of made us play it, and it was something that it was a game that it was a multiple choice game that for every question you got right, they would donate 10 grains of rice to a family in need. The questions were about school stuff such as like math and reading, as well as like history and subject. There was about 7 or 8 subjects that were in it. A group that call themselves the Effective Altruists. They are a group that kind of try to help the needy or the poverty, and they work out effects of various age scenarios. One example of that is deworming children in developing countries. That has been kind of the biggest way, but it's also hard for them to be able to get to developing countries because most of them are going to be in war, and so that kind of can't get them there because they're in war. And I was studied by a website called Poverty 101, an article called How Can We End Global Poverty Once and For All? In conclusion, the world has to become more aware of the poverty rate in both our country and in the United States. There are, I think one of the best ways of helping the poverty rate is to inform people and for them to help realize that there is a lot of poverty in the world. Even though it has gotten better throughout the years, it still needs something. It's still something that we need to improve on. Before researching the subject, I didn't really know much about poverty, so like kind of researching it made me kind of more aware and realize that how bad it is really, even in the United States and even in like a city like Lincoln, Nebraska, which I thought was just like crazy. And then biggest way to learning about the poverty rate will help us learn will help us bring it to our attention. And I think that's like the biggest reason why I chose this topic. And